On the in-universe official lore as preserved by Game Lore, mainly via the mobile/video game extensions of Real Steel, Quarterback is described as a G3 generation robot. According to the source entry on the Real Steel wiki, Quarterback has stats: 8 out of 10 armor, 9 out of 10 power, 10 out of 10 speed. His bot type is listed as Demon Wall, his origin is the USA, and his in-game nickname is the Crunching Tackler. Visually and thematically, he resembles a stylized American football player, bulky build, shoulder pads, jersey-style chestplate with the number 50. His special moves reflect the football motif. One special involves throwing a football at an opponent then charging them, another involves a punch plus a football-powered kick to the ground. His win animation includes tossing the ball and a celebratory pump fist. Thus, Quarterback isn't a robot from the original movie, he never appears in the film itself. Rather, he's part of the extended game lore that arises in the video games/mobile adaptations of Real Steel. In short, Quarterback is a later generation robot created for the video game lore, borrowing the Real Steel brand and aesthetic, but not part of the cinematic storyline. What is lore for Real Steel, canon versus game versus fan? Before debating whether Quarterback could be a WRB contender, it's important to clarify what counts as official lore in the world of Real Steel. The situation is murky. What comes from games and game lore? After the film's release, the franchise was expanded through video games and mobile games, e.g. Real Steel WRB, Real Steel Champions, etc., to include many more robots, including fan-favorite or original design bots like Quarterback, Touchdown, Rubicon, Gamma, /, etc. The bots have stats, histories, generation assignments, G1, G2, G3, and a ranking system through league-style championships. In that lore, there is a documented lineage of WRB champions, for instance, /OPS Gamma Rubicon Dominator Zeus as current champion. Quarterback is explicitly listed in the Real Steel Wiki game version as a G3 robot, with its moves, attributes, and classification among Demon Wall bots. Thus, the game lore builds a broad world, generations of robots, rivalries, championships, stats, and unique robot personalities/styles. Issues: canon versus non-canon/fan-made blur. However, there's a common sentiment among fans that only the movie counts as official canon, and that the rest, games, wikis, fan allies, are at best extended universe, and at worst fan fiction/fan-made. As one Reddit user put it, the only reliable source of lore is the movie, the game's lore is mostly fan-made. In fact, many of the bots and league histories, champions, records, generational classifications, are never mentioned in the movie. That means they are not part of the original cinematic canon, but retroactive additions to support games and extended universe content. Because the official lore beyond the film is fragmented, coming from games, wikis, community contributions, sometimes conflicting or speculative, there is no unified, canonical Real Steel Universe Bible. Conclusion on lore status: movie equals canon, games/wiki/fan contributions equals extended/fan universe, with varying levels of officiality. Quarterback lives in that extended/unofficial space. Could Quarterback be a WRB contender in lore/in-game? Given Quarterback's stats, design, and classification, let's assess whether he could be, or already is, a WRB contender, or even champion, in the extended lore. Reasons supporting Quarterback as a contender. His stats are strong: 9 out of 10 power, 10 out of 10 speed, decent armor, 8 out of 10. That combination, especially high speed plus power, suggests a robot capable of aggressive offense and likely surging through fights. The idea behind Quarterback's mechanics, football-inspired tackles, grabs, heavy ground attacks, imply he's designed for showmanship and impact, possibly excelling in matches where quick, hard hits and flashy moves can dominate. As a G3 bot, he presumably belongs to a newer generation that might grant advantages in build quality, materials, or design innovations over older generation robots, though exact generation-to-generation benefits are speculative. Problems/limitations/doubts. Quarterback never appears in the movie, which means his existence is strictly game universe. So any title shot or championship lore for him depends on the acceptance of game lore as official. For purists, that may disqualify him. Among the documented WRB champions in the extended lore /OPS, Gamma, Rubicon, Dominator, Zeus, Quarterback is not listed. There is no public record, at least on the major wiki, of Quarterback winning any WRB championship. His presence seems more as a selectable/playable robot in the game, not a canonical champion. Some in the community believe the game lore, especially much of it, is fan-made or at best semi-official, meaning any history around Quarterback might not stand if only movie canon is considered. As one Redditor put it, "You don't. Real Steel is a one-off thing, and apart from the movie and promos about the movie, there's no real lore you can find about the characters or the bots." So, yes, within the game lore context, Quarterback could be a WRB level robot, maybe even top tier, but within movie canon, he doesn't exist. Brain what Quarterback lore really is, and where it comes from. Because much of what we know about Quarterback comes from the extended Real Steel lore, games, wikis, community, it's helpful to trace what sources exist and what remains uncertain. Source of Quarterback lore. The primary source is the Real Steel Wiki, a community-run fandom site listing many robots, movie and game, including their stats, generations, origins, and roles. Quarterback has a full entry there. The extended WRB champion lineage, /Opus Gamma Rubicon Dominator Zeus, is also defined in that wiki. Quarterback does not appear on that lineage list. Community and fan discussions on forums/Reddit repeatedly highlight that most of the full lore beyond the movie is speculative or derived from games, not part of an official franchise canon. E.g. 1. Introduction, The World of Real Steel. Brief recap of the film premise, robot boxing replaces human boxing. Explanation of the two worlds, underworld fights versus official WRB league. Why fans and gamers expanded the universe, games, mobile ports, new robots. Conclusion, where Quarterback stands today, legend, possibility, or peripheral character. Summarize, Quarterback is a recognized robot in the Real Steel game lore, with strong stats and design that suggest WRB potential. But in absence of canonical confirmation, he remains more of a what-if/alternate universe bot than a movie universe legend. And with open question, given the silence on a full official sequel or lore Bible, is Quarterback's status solid or always tentative? That ambiguity is part of what keeps Real Steel interesting to fans. What fans, community, say on Quarterback and Real Steel lore? Because part of your question seems connected to what people believe or hope about Quarterback lore, here's a summary of community sentiment, drawn from forums/Reddit. Some fans claim that many bots, including Quarterback, come from games, cut content, or fan-created expansions, not from any official source. For instance, the only reliable source of lore is the movie. The game's lore is mostly fan-made. That said, even among those who treat the game lore as unofficial, there is fascination with seeing what could have been. Many lament the lack of a sequel or a broader canonical universe. This conversation really makes me wish that the Real Steel IP was pushed further. They had such an amazing world. For a subset of fans, bots like Quarterback, Touchdown, Rubicon, Gamma, even though not in the movie, represent the potential of a richer robot boxing universe, multiple generations, evolving bots, championships, deep rivalries. In short, fan interest remains, but opinions diverge widely on legitimacy. White heavy checkmark my assessment, is Quarterback Real Steel WRB level? If I were to stake a claim, yes, within the extended game lore of Real Steel, Quarterback is WRB level, and likely a competitive robot. His high speed plus power plus demon wall classification plus football themed moves combine for a build that seems tuned for either high impact knockout fights or high maneuver agility. Final thoughts, why Quarterback, and bots like him, matter. When I imagine giving a 50-minute speech on Quarterback and Real Steel lore, I'd emphasize this: the value of Quarterback is not just in wins or titles, it's in possibility. He represents the impulse to expand a beloved world, from a single movie, into a living, evolving universe. He acts as a bridge between sport, robot boxing, spectacle, flashy football-style moves, and the fantasy sports aspect that games embody. He challenges fans to ask, what makes a character or bot real within a fictional world, the original film? Or fan-driven expansion? Or both? He brings variety and creativity. Not every bot has to be a hulking power fighter or a scrap underdog, some can be stylized, showy, arena entertainers like Quarterback. In many fandoms, fan-driven lore can become as meaningful as official canon. Quarterback may never star in a sequel, but as long as players, modders, fans, and dreamers keep him alive in the game universe, he stays relevant.